Hey everyone, welcome to Soul on Fire, where we're going to ignite the passion within. I am Noelle Agape, and I am the leading expert in health, wellness, and consciousness. Thank you for being here today. Today we have a really special show, and we're going to have so much fun. It's one of the coolest and most amazing people that I know. It's Mr. Todd Speciale, and he is a global entrepreneur. He is a Fortune 500 sales representative throughout the country. He blows sales numbers out of the water. So those of you in business, those of you that are an entrepreneur, you are going to gain so much knowledge from this beautiful man today. You're going to connect with his heart and you're going to connect with his soul, because he is probably one of my favorite people that I know. And so I'm going to bring him on now and just plan on having so much fun today, because he really just capture his energy, capture his heart, and listen to his experience. This man is so powerful and so great, and he has so much wealth to bring you. I love you guys, and I'm going to bring him on right now. Hold on one sec. Hey, Todd, how are you?
What is happening, Miss Beautiful Noelle? How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I couldn't be better. Every day above ground's a good day, right?
Yeah, it's so awesome. It's so awesome. So I kind of told everybody, our viewers, a little bit about you, but I didn't even tap into the depth of what you do and the knowledge that you bring to, the insane amount of knowledge that you have for this world. So just share a little bit about you, and then so our viewers can get used to you, and then we're going to have some fun.
Well, I heard the introduction, and you want the good, the bad.
Yes.
There's a little bit of both, more on the tough side. But yeah, I mean, listen, I love people, man. I love inspiring people and helping them grow, and being a coach and mentor. Sales is my thing, but I'm transitioning into a lot of consulting and helping businesses rise and people, but mainly just allowing people to be the best versions of themselves. That's what I love to do. And coming from a background of immense struggle in my life and having to kind of overcome a lot of adversity, it's just allowed me to become who I am. I just turned a lot of the tough struggles and into to wins and learning moments. So yeah, I just love people and helping change lives. That's the short of it.
Oh, I love that so much. And so maybe tap into a little bit of like your story, because your story is, you have overcome diversity in every area of your life, right? There's, whether it was the health and the fitness aspect of it, whether it was, the financial aspect of it, even the emotional components with your dad, right? You have such an amazing, beautiful story to tell. I just want our viewers to get an idea of who you are, because you're so humble. And I love that about you, is that you are such a powerful force, but you're like this humble, kind soul. But really, truly, guys, like, he's legit.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, because in everyone's life, everybody's story, there's no one story that's more powerful than the next, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? Because you have a story, everyone has a story, and for me, it was a lot of struggle. And at the end of the day, it was me just kind of just realizing that everything can be overturned, right? It's me realizing a little bit later in life, and that's why I like teaching even young people that you can change your life at any time. But yeah, I grew up in very humble beginnings, and there wasn't a lot of money, and there wasn't a lot of financially powerful stuff in my life. But the luxury of that is that I had to learn to survive at a really young age, and I had to learn to do it on my own. Now, I will tell you that without having the love and support of my mother and father, they were the richest people in love. I say it all the time. You probably hear me say it on every single live that I do. But they are the reason that I'm here. They're the reason why I am the man I am today. Because although we didn't have a lot of financially luxurious stuff, they gave me everything that every child could ever want, in love and the right mindset and knowing never to give up. But yeah, my mom, amazing woman, beat cancer 3 times. She's the strongest. She's superhero. I saw my mother, I remember when she had cancer, I was 15 years old. They gave her 6 months to live. And basically, I used to walk in as a kid, and the only time I ever saw my mother was either sleeping or throwing up because of the chemo and radiation. And they said, if the cancer doesn't kill you, the chemo and radiation will. Yep. And that was when I was 15. I'm 44 now, and she's still here, stronger than ever. Matter of fact, she recently did get COVID, right, and had pneumonia in both of her lungs, and was hospitalized, and was just such a strong, amazing, powerful woman that I remember calling her and said, "Mom, how are you feeling?" Because the hospitals wouldn't allow us to actually go in and be with her, right? And she goes, "Todd, I beat cancer 3 times. This is a cinch." I was like, that's my mom, right? That is my mother. Like that's her because
and that's you, right? That is 100% you. Like all that I know of you, you are like, it doesn't matter what's in front of you. It's irrelevant because you're getting through it, right? I mean,
that's it. That's it. There's no other choice. And I think what we do in life is we postpone greatness. You know, and I say that a lot because so many people kind of just, you know, they contradict themselves and they say that I'm going to do something, they never do it. And you know me pretty well, and I'm very, very upfront and sometimes a little bit too upfront. But one thing that kind of like really hit home with me is the fact that you were like, you know, he's one of the genuine guys, and I can't thank you enough for saying that. But when I got into the speaking world and the coaching entrepreneur world, there's a lot of fakes out there. There's a lot of people out there just aren't doing the right thing, that are robbing people, taking money. I know that it happened to me. It's happened to you. It's happened to a lot of different people where, you know, you invest money into someone or something and you're expecting to get some sort of return out of it. But the problem is, even though you're dealing with good people, there's a lot of people that talk themselves out of that, you know, return that they should be getting, because we can coach them and we can guide them and we can put them in the right direction, but it doesn't always mean they're going to take that next step. So for me, you know, my dad, as you know, was my hero. You know, he still is. He's my hero in heaven. In July 25th, it's been 3 years. He's been gone. I still cry like a baby every time on that day, you know, and I miss him dearly. But my dad, you know, struggled with health a lot of his years. And it just got to the point where he had always told me that, you know, I can be anything that I wanted to be. And that's what parents tell you, you know, you can be anything you want to be. But you know, watching him and seeing what he had to go through, what my mom had to go through, it just gave me the support and willpower to know that I can do anything I want. Like you mentioned, the weight loss, right? I mean, I was 230 pounds in November. The event that I was at, where you saw me at, I was, you know, I saw a picture the other day and I was like, wow. I was like I was asking like the guys that Unstoppable, I was like, take that down. Like,
it was amazing. It was in your head.
And then side view, I was like, whoa, even the side view looks bad. Like I can't, you know, but I'm authentically me, you know, and I'm for some people and I'm not for some others, and that's okay. But yeah, it's been a lot of struggle. You know, I grew up in the gambling world and was, you know, hustling in the streets at a very young age, and you know, learned how to play games like cribbage and pinochle and tonk and all these games to gamble for a living. And I did it for 12 years. I ran illegal poker games forever. And then one day I just decided enough's enough. I have to start my life because my daughters deserve better, you know, and that's exactly why I did it.
And so maybe talk about that a little bit. Is that we're going to actually play? We're going to have a lot of fun. But you know, you have such an amazing depth to you that I want people to see that as well. Is that the difference, like that turning point in your life, right? We all have that turning point from when we were, you know that we were supposed to be doing something and we're trudging through the trenches and then we either have a family or it clicks, right? And we're entrepreneurs and we are serving and giving our gifts out to the world, and 99% of that is because of my family, right? I mean, I legit, because my girls are my angels, and I know that's the case with you too, even with Michelle and as your wife. So maybe talk about that, of the turning point where you went through this crazy, you know, hardship, and then just to overcome to insane wealth. What, right? I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, look, you know, wealth is measured in a lot of levels. So I you know, it's, to me, I define it a lot different than most people, you know, because it's not monetary at all for me, you know. I mean, but anybody that tells you that money won't make you happy, they're lying. It definitely will. It makes life a whole lot easier. Trust me. But, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, you know, my daughters, I remember, you know, looking at them one day and I was driving my kids to school after a 24-hour poker game. And they were in my old F-150 Ford truck that I had, and we were driving to school. And my daughter Avery looks at me and she goes, "Hey, Daddy, we're having career day at school, and we want you to come in and tell people what you do for a living." And I was running illegal poker games. I was like, "Well, not sure that I can do that," you know. So, but at the end of the day, you get to the point where you say to yourself, is this the life that I want to live? And is this the life that my daughters deserve? And I was a single dad at the time, you know, and I remember thinking to myself, like, damn, there's more to me, right? And it really hit home. And I was like, and as you know, kind of comical as that little story is, it was a turning point in my life, you know. And I didn't evolve then, but I remember I was making $150,000, $200,000 a year running illegal card games, cash, you know. I mean, I was making a lot of money, but it was a really bad environment. There was always a lot of drugs around. There was guns around. I mean, I've been robbed three times at gunpoint, you know. It's just, I've actually gone through a lot of stuff that people don't think is real, right? And it is real. And unfortunately, people believe they live in this like amazing world where they think everything's hunky-dory. And I hope everyone lives in that world for the rest of their lives. But unfortunately, it's not reality. Mm-hmm. And the way that I actually started turning was one major night where after I got robbed at gunpoint, there was about $30,000 in cash that was taken in the card game. I got really drunk one night, and I remember that my kids were supposed to come over the following day, and they were at my brother and my sister's house. And I remember that I'm running this card game. We get robbed. It was my only form of income. And there was this like trash can next to my bed. I used to kind of like dive into the trash can, and then I would grab a bunch of change, because you used to drop change in like a jar or trash can. Well, that trash can was right next to my bed. Well, I had no money. My kids come over the next day. I reach in the trash can and I pull out 11 cents. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I can't even feed my kids, right? And then the people, we used to have a book where like if Noel came over and I knew that you were good for the money, I would give you $1,000 credit on the book, or $2,000 or $3,000 credit. You just pay me the next week. So here I am lending people money when the card games were great because I had the money and support to back it up. All of a sudden I get robbed, and the same people that I was lending money to wouldn't give me $100 to eat. You know what I mean? Like I would call people and I would beg, can I borrow $100? Can I borrow $200? What can, anything. I just need money for my kids to eat. And I remember making those phone calls and I was like, wow, dude, you've hit like the lowest of lowest of lowest. You know what I mean? I don't know what else to really say, because at the end of the day, you put yourselves in a position in life to either win or lose. And that position is solely on you, right? Wow. So that night I get wasted drunk. The next morning, my kids come over. I had a roommate named Alex Contreras at the time, an amazing human being. And he basically says, hey, look, here's the deal, right? You can sleep all day, or you can just be an amazing father. And because I was drunk, I fall asleep. As my kids come over, I sleep until like 4 p.m. the next day. I wake up. My kids have been there since the morning, and my roommate Alex is actually playing with them. I remember walking into the kitchen, the small house that we had, and they're playing with sand on the table, and Alex is keeping them company, making them laugh. Like, what would I have done without an amazing roommate like that, right? But then I thought to myself, my kids deserve more. Like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? They leave that night. I remember my oldest daughter, Avery, texted me and said, Daddy, you were sleeping when we came over. It's okay if you don't want us there.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was like, I get emotional out saying that. You know me. I'm Italian. So, and I replied, and I was just like, Abe, there's not a second in Daddy's world where, I don't want you there. But she was at such a young age. For her to actually say that meant that, there's a part of her that felt that way. Right. Mm-hmm. So they go home that night. Here I am, depressed, drunk, in this blacked out room. And as cliche as it sounds, I get wasted. I'm running around the house at night, like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm just drunk, and I'm just running. It starts raining. I'm getting rained on, and I'm screaming, God, why me? Why me? And then by the time I get to the front door, I'm saying, man, enough's enough. Try me. And the very next day, I got up, went to Labor Ready, which is like, where they hire people to do odds and end jobs. I started like laying bricks and doing concrete work, and started earning some money because the poker scene, it was done. People were tired of being robbed. They started going to casinos, and I lost every form of income. Wow. Well, about a month later, I'm making a couple $100s a week, and then I'm making like $500 a week. And I'm trying to get back on my feet. But the most important thing is that I was spending time with my kids and my daughters and making sure that we were happy. But that was the biggest turning point for me when my daughter actually looked at me and said, it's okay if you don't want us here. Like, that broke my heart. I was like, wait, what do you mean? But for her to see me sleeping all day when they're there and I'm not spending time with them, dude, it was like the hardest thing I've ever gone through. So that was one of many strong turning points in my life, So, wow. And then when I got into the sales world, poker started coming back again about a year later, and someone asked me to deal, and I actually moved in with my parents because I had no money at like 30 years old. Like, I felt like the biggest loser on the planet. Start dealing poker games again, started earning money. And I was winning, playing on the side as well. And I saved up like 20 grand or whatever. And then I got my own house, got my own apartment, or got my own house, got my own furniture, and here I am back in the poker world again, where I didn't want to be. But the money was just too easy. It's like selling drugs, right? Like, you're like, it's just too easy. You don't know anything other than that. Well, as I was running these card games, I started renting out penthouses and downtown. So I am renting these skyrise penthouses for $5,000 a month, having a business. I remember a guy coming up to me and he says, Todd, you're like a business person, man. You're running this like a business, right? And I was just like, well, thank you, because I'm a people person trying to keep people happy. And he goes, you need to get out of this and change your life. And I was like, I mean, I'm making $200K a year. Like, I don't, I think it was good. And he's like, no. You need to start. I hadn't filed taxes in 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't buy anything. My credit was like 400, it was like, I mean, it was laughable. Like, I couldn't put a piece of gum on a credit, like I had bad credit and everything.
Right? I mean, as entrepreneurs, there's been moments where you have that moment in life where it's like, oh shit, I'm at my lowest point ever, right?
Yeah. Well, at that time, imagine always walking around with, like, I always had $5,000 or $10,000 in cash in my pocket. Everything I paid for was cash because I had horrible credit and I couldn't get credit anywhere, right? Going to buy here, pay here car lots and, buying cars. I bought a Range Rover cash. When you make more money, you tend to spend it when you're younger. And I had nothing to show for it. So one day I get in a hand with a guy, and a lot of people always ask me, and they ask me about the poker world, and they say, let me ask you a question. What's your biggest winning hand in poker ever? What's the most you've ever won? And I said, it was the day that I lost $2,600. And they go, wait, no. I said, what's the most you've ever won? And I said, no, I heard you. I got in a hand with a guy that had been kind of hounding me about the timeshare business, said, man, you would crush this business. You're a numbers guy. You're a people person. You need to get back in the sales world because that's where you're meant to be. And I, he'd been hounding me and telling me, man, you can make $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 selling timeshare, and I'm just like, yeah, right. So you can't make that type of money. I didn't believe him. Mm-hmm. And then one day we got in that hand and he said, look, if you lose this hand, you've got to quit running card games. He'd been asking me for 3 years, hounding me. And I said, and he goes, you got to quit running card games, go get your real estate license and get in the timeshare world. You're going to come into the company I'm working with. And that's that. And I said, okay, cool. And if I win this hand, I don't ever want to hear anything about timeshare ever again. So we both had good hands, and the rest is history. I lost that hand. I paid up. I stopped running poker games that very next week, which was my only form of income. Wow. Because when I get into something, I go full force, right? And broke records my first year, second year, created sales teams, started building that, and then built a big name for myself in sales because building teams isn't the way I would put it. I build families that win together, right? And that's where my career kind of.
Say that again.
I built families that win together. I don't build sales teams, right? And when I left, I remember leaving one company and going to the next, and I would cry, and my reps would cry, and then I'd go to another company, I'd leave, and my reps would cry, and I would cry, and I realized really quickly that my biggest passion is training and helping people win because, there was people that used to come in the timeshare world when I'm making $400,000 a year that would say that are making 30 grand a year. Right. And to take them from 30 grand a year to 100 grand a year, it's literally life changing. I mean, you're 3Xing, almost 3.5Xing their income in 1 year. And I used to remember getting these gifts at Christmas and they're like extravagant gifts. And I'm like, why am I getting these? Dude, you quadrupled my income. And I said, dude, I didn't quadruple anything. You did.
I teach that too.
So when I started helping people, I went home and I remember telling my wife, I said, I got to put for me, the slogan, put the people before the paycheck was massive because I just immediately realized that helping people was my thing. I just enjoyed it, which is when I used to get into when I started training and helping people win. And that's really when my career kind of elevated and then went out on my own and started doing my own thing and, opening up my companies and doing what I love to do. So that's where I'm at now.
So beautiful. And I truly believe, and I think you do as well, like there's earth angels that come into our life at a certain pivotal point that we can make a choice, right? We can make a choice to you could have made that choice to stay in that world, right? But that guy, he believed in you. He saw something in you that was better, right? And we truly live from our soul and we truly live from passion and we truly live from a place of service. Like everything that we do, and the more money that we make, the more money we're giving, the more money we're helping. Like it's never about the wealth and the mindset. And that's such an important component that I want our viewers to hear is that you could have stayed in that world. You were doing amazing in that world, right?
Yeah.
You had, someone in your life that saw a better version of you. And you were like, you could have said no and just walked away, but within you saw it as well. And that's maybe talk a little bit about that. Maybe talk about seeing when somebody sees something in you that you don't see and then how to get there. And then we're going to have a little bit of fun after that as well.
Yeah, deal. Well, I'll tell you this, another major turning point I want to talk about too, is that, my buddy the other day was like talking about how his wife had kind of helped change his life. Right. And And I said, it was the same thing with Michelle. Okay. Cause when Michelle came into my life, again, I was running illegal card games. I was driving a Ford F-150. I had the tiniest house on the planet. I didn't have anything, really. And I didn't realize what I had at the time. Let's just put it that way. But having someone come into your life that's now a part of your life, and then, Abriella comes along and we're building this life together, she helped me start realizing I need to build my credit up again. I need to start filing taxes. I need to become like a normal person. It's like, I'm living in this gambling world and I was collecting money, and my kids used to see me. I'd be at a gas station for a guy that owed me a couple thousand. I'd be screaming outside of my car, I'm coming to get my money. And I was just that guy. And, had it not been for like someone like Michelle to help me kind of get out of that and guide me in the right direction, I wouldn't be where I'm at either today. And, and kind of adding to that there's people in your lives, like you said, that see something in you. Mm-hmm. There's also those times in your life when multiple people see something in you and you still don't accept it because you doubt yourself. Right. And for me, I was the guy that doubted myself. Right. I was always like, and that's the thing, like, there's so many people in the world that I can tell, you could tell, my mentor could tell, her mentor could tell that you're amazing, but we have to make the choice to do it. We can't get you out of that comfort. We can guide you through it and tell you that this is why you should do something, but that doesn't mean they're going to do it. Like weight loss. I kept gaining weight. And then I was just like, dude, I can't do this anymore. I saw pictures of myself. So I was like, I hate this. I feel lethargic. I can't breathe when I'm running. Like I can't even play with my daughter, for God's sakes, and dude, I'm 44. It's not like I'm 80. So I was like, I got to do this. So I had to make the choice. That choice to me has been the sole reason why I feel like I'm at where I'm at today, because I truly believe that you don't have to be physically in shape to win at life. Number one. Okay. I'm not going to say you do, but you can win a lot better when you are, because when you're physically in shape, you're mentally in shape. It's like fasting. Dr. V, that was at Unstoppable. I said, dude, I'm stuck at like 205, 210, 207. Like I keep fluctuating there. How do I lose weight? And, I don't know if you remember on stage, but he says, a lot of people say they fast. I was like, yeah, man, I fast. I stop eating at 8 and I don't eat till noon. He goes, dude, you skipped breakfast. He's like, you didn't fast, right? So you fast. And that was his joke on stage. And I was laughing because he's right, So I called him and he said, look, bro, you need to fast 4 days in a row, 20 hours a day, one meal after you work out. And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to be able to work out. I'll get dizzy. He's like, trust me. So I did it. That's when the weight started falling off, right? But we all need to have mentors like that in our life. For me, as you know, Danelle Delgado is my mentor, right? She has a mentor, and his mentor, her mentor has him. We all have those mentors.
I have a coach. Miller's my coach, right? It's amazing. It changes your life.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you sit back and you go, there's a lot of people go, man, you pay that type of money for coaching, or you do that? Yes, because a lot of what you see wouldn't be possible without an absolute legend like Danelle Delgado to guide me in the direction that I need to be in. There's so many people that don't understand that mentor or that coaching world enough, and what they're doing is blocking a chance to be great. Yeah. So when you ask me about like talking about like believing in myself after other people see it, man, I would never stop. And that's the reason why Tony Robbins has a coach. And that's the reason why Tim Grover, who is Danelle's coach, has a coach. The smart people in the world use the opinions of others that are positive to help them rise. And that's what I think everybody should always live by. So
I love that so much. And we've been doing this forever, right? Half of our life now, we've been doing this, right? 17 years for me. And you have a coach, I have a coach. And and actually my coach is like younger than me, right? She's like 10 years younger than me. And she's that much, so she does exactly what I do. And she's insanely successful, right? You take something in your life where you could use improvement, and you find somebody that has done it, and you absolutely, without question, you find the right person and the right fit for you, because there's a lot of fakes out there, like you said, right? And you get someone that believes in you. You get someone that shows you your soul and shows you how to get to your soul's purpose and take you on that journey, right?
Absolutely.
And you and I do it for a living, and we have coaches, right? It's like it's the level of expertise that somebody has. And if you ever in your life feel like you are in your ego so much that you can't learn from somebody else, then you better take a check in with you, right? Because we're we're always the teachers and we're always the learners, right? And so if there's ever a moment where you're so in your ego that you think you've learned everything you can possibly learn, then you probably wouldn't be in a human body at that point.
I know we got like the game to play, but I do, since you talk about ego, I gotta tell you a quick story before we go. Okay. So, and I'll make it quick, but I was speaking on stage in LA a couple of years ago, and it was at a pretty big event. Matter of fact, the first time I ever saw Danelle Delgado, who she was just like, wow, on stage. Like, she's unreal, right? And I remember looking at a lot of these speakers, and I was like, man, these people are just so good. Like, this is something, I know I can do this. You know, I need to do this, right? And I'd been asked to come out there to speak when it was right after my dad had passed. I promised my dad I would have an event. I posted some videos on YouTube. I guess the right person saw it, the other right person. Then all of a sudden they say, hey, come out, you know, to LA. We want to give someone that people don't really know a chance to speak. And I thought that was super cool, right? So I remember getting out there, and I was like, we're at a VIP dinner. And I thought, imagine this, I thought there's going to be some big stage, and I'm going to be like talking to like thousands of people. And I picture this like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. And then I get there and I'm speaking at a VIP dinner. Like I flew out to LA thinking, here's my big shot.
Yes, yes.
And the stage, I mean, I could barely walk left or right because the stage was so small, right? And but you know what? I took the opportunity, right? So I remember I'm like second or third person to literally speak at the end of the night, right? I'm second or third to last, right? So there's all these people speaking, and it was 10,000 a seat. To sit at this VIP event, and the tables were round. And anybody that has an event, don't ever make the tables round, okay? Because somebody's back is always to the stage. It's just rude. Just rule of thumb, right? And I remember looking at it, and I'm just like, dude, here I've got like these powerhouse, amazing individuals. That was the first day I met Jason Cisneros, by the way. And I remember like sitting at the event, and there's all these important people in the crowd. And all these speakers were speaking. Now, I will tell you, I was about 3 or 4 vodkas deep because I didn't know I wasn't going to speak for 8 hours, you know? So I get on stage, they call my name.
3 or 4 vodkas deep, just so you know.
Yeah, 4 or 5 vodkas deep. So then I get on stage, and again, I'm in front of these powerhouses, the Jay Cisneros, you know, all these people that are just amazing souls, right? And I'm sitting there looking around. I don't know any of them. There's like directors, big directors of movies, David Corbin, and there's all these people. And you're going, these people are like, they're like legendary, right? And I get on stage, and I was mad, dude. I was so mad when I got on stage because there was like literally like silverware clanking on plates while people were speaking. And you get these other guys that were like me on stage, and nobody was listening. Like half the people would listen, the other half wouldn't. And actually, Josh Berglund was there, you know, and Josh is an awesome, amazing soul, right? And he remembers this. He tells the story all the time, which is super cool. But yeah. So he's there, and he goes, and I'm on stage, and I get up there, and I was like, oh, Todd, like, don't do it. Don't say what you're about to say. Don't say what you're about to say. And I was like, you know what? This is me. I got to say it. So I was like, I'm either going to get like a lot of love for this, or it's the last time I'm ever going to speak on stage ever, right? So my video plays. We have a PowerPoint because my partner at the time was like, you got to play the PowerPoint. You got to do it. And I hate PowerPoints, by the way. I can't stand them, right? So I was like, oh, fine, give me the freaking clicker, you know? So I get on stage, and all of a sudden my video plays. It's an introduction to Todd Special, and everybody's like, who? Like, nobody knows who I am. And then I try the clicker, and the clicker doesn't work. And I'm like, oh, thank God. This is God telling me this thing doesn't work. I was like, this is perfect. So the guy running the event at the time goes, dude, we'll get it fixed. We'll get it fixed. And I tossed it to him in the middle of the crowd, and I said, I don't need it. I don't need the PowerPoint. Yeah. I don't need anything. I'm just going to wing it.
Me too.
So I went from the presentation that I had set up to winging it. And what I did is there was like 3/4 of the crowd were talking and plates clanking. Nobody was listening. And I remember saying to them, I go to the microphone. I was like, you know how it makes the sound when you hear it's like that, and you can hear it around the room. I go, is this thing on? And then like 20% of everybody would turn around, right? And then I was just like, hello, is this thing on? Right? And then like half the crowd would look around. And then I go, listen, first and foremost, because this hasn't been done yet, I know you guys don't know who I am. And I know you don't know who the waiters and servers are. But before I get started, I think we need to give them a huge round of applause for everything they've done for us tonight. The waiters, servers, the staff, and I start clapping. So like half the crowd that's listening starts clapping, whatever, right? And then I said, I'd also like to give the speakers who spoke before me a huge round of applause, because I don't think they got the respect they deserved.
Oh, I love that.
And then all of a sudden it was like silent, like you could hear a pin drop, right? And then you see people kind of turning around because they heard what I said, but their back is towards me, and they're like, what is this guy just saying? And I said, yeah, you guys heard me. I said, I don't think the speakers got the respect they deserve. They've been preparing and preparing and preparing to speak in front of you amazing, legendary souls, right? And all I hear is plates clanking and this and that, blah, 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 blah. So there's only two things that I think that could have happened, right? Is that either one, you didn't listen to them because you think you know everything, or two, you didn't listen to them because you think you have too much money to care. Which one is it?
Probably both.
I paused.
Wow.
Silence. And I remember looking out in the crowd and I was like, wow. And by this time I had everybody's attention. And I remember a couple people started clapping. I think Jay Sis was one of them, you know, at that moment. And I remember started clapping like this. And then I went into my story. I said, guys, listen, there's people like me who never had a chance like this to speak in front of people like you. And I think you let ego get in the way of listening to someone who you think you're either better than, or you didn't feel like they were worth your respect or time. Everybody is worth your respect or time. And then I went into my speech. You know, when I got done, half the crowd stood up. Half the crowd probably was like, screw this guy. And I walked out. And I got a lot of speaking gigs from it. So it's just being authentically me. So to your point, ego always seems to get in the way of people who don't think that they can grow or they think they've done so well. But you look at like legendary people like, you know, Danelle and Tim Grover and these people, dude, they're learning every day. There's no ego there. They're amazing souls because they constantly learn. So I just want to tell that story because, you know, ego got in the way of that night and there was people that deserved more.
I love that so much. And it's just, you know, it just such a credit to who you are, Todd, really, that you command presence and you command presence with your heart and your soul. And you're just like, you know, you will never, ever, you are the man that's standing in front of everybody always, right?
Thank you.
And I mean, that's such a beautiful gift that you have to this world. I honor you so much. I seriously.
Thank you so much.
All that you are, and for our viewers, guys, he is, you know, he's one of the most real guys that you will ever meet, and just fun, right? You just fun, and you bring your heart and you bring your soul to everything, and I honor you for that. You guys ready to have some fun? Let's play a little game, Todd.
I'm a little scared, but let's go. All right, because I know you and you're creative. I feel like I'm not gonna do so well, but let's give it a shot.
We're gonna do just fine, and I promise you, we're gonna have a lot of fun.
All right, let's do it. I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, so where are we? Here we are. It's not adding to the stream. Add to stream. There we go. Can you see it?
I can.
Okay, so how to close the closer. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
We're gonna play Jeopardy, which is the Geo Party, right? For copyright purposes. I'm totally the creative, right? So you get to choose from 3 categories, and you get to answer the questions that are there.
Okay, I choose sales for 1,000. Noel.
It's chill. You go right for 1,000. Okay, good, perfect.
I go for the big bucks.
So, a Bentley, a closer, a 10-year-old boy, and a gas station.
One of the best stories ever.
Tell us about that story, Todd.
Oh God. So yeah. So I get my new car. I'm driving up to a gas station one day and I pull up to the gas station, right? And I didn't have my credit card. I had cash in my pocket and I was like, oh God, I'm in a hurry. Like I'm like rushing. I got to get to a meeting. And of course I go in the gas station and I'm standing in line and there's like 15, of course there's 15 people. Have you ever noticed when you're in a hurry, that's when things take the longest, right? Yeah. Like there's so many people in line and all of a sudden there's like, I look down to the left and there's a little kid going, Mister, hey, Mister. And I was looking, I was like, you talking to me? It's like, what, kid? He's just like, you know, what type of car is that? And I go, it's a Bentley, kid. You know what I mean? Like it's a Bentley. He's just like, oh, okay. And then it was silence. And then I look forward again, trying to hoping the line hurries up and tugs on me. He's like, hey, Mister. How fast does that car go? And I go, I don't know, kid. I mean, like, its speedometer says like 220. Like, I don't know. I've never had it there, but it goes fast. I don't know, kid. Okay. Silence. And tugs on me again. He says, Mister. He goes, what type of engine's in that car? And what type of this and what type of that? He's asking a million questions. And I'm just going, well, kid, it's a V12. Like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. And then all of a sudden I'm looking forward and I think he's done. And he tugs on me again. And now I'm so frustrated. This kid, like, I love kids, don't get me wrong, but I'm in a hurry. This kid's annoying the shit out of me. I'm like, I got to get the hell out of here. So then he says to me, he goes, hey, Mister, how can I one day have a car like that? And I was like, got him. I was like, I'm going to close this kid. He's not going to answer any more questions. And I looked him dead in the face and I said, kid, listen, if you work hard and go after everything you want in life and always look forward, you can one day have a car like that. And I was like, got him. Not going to say anything. He's done. Kid sitting on the bucket, doesn't skip a beat. Okay. Literally gets off of the bucket, moves the bucket aside. He goes, well, that's exactly what I'm here to talk to you about today, sir. I'm selling chocolate bars. And I'm like, this little shit. Dude, I was like, this little shit. He set me up. He was set me up. And I go, listen, chocolate bars. He goes, listen, would you buy a box of chocolates, sir? And I go, no, kid, I'm not going to buy a box of chocolate. Like, I'm frustrated at this point. I want to get the hell out of here. Like, I'm not going to buy a box of chocolates. And he goes, look, sir, he goes, well, would you at least buy one, please? Because I just buy one. I mean, so would you just support the youth, please? And I'm like, oh, this little kid, like, he's a badass, right? And I was like, you know what, kid, here's the deal. I'll take 3. I got 3 daughters. I'll take 3 chocolate bars, okay? And that's it. So give me chocolate bars. Let me give you the cash. Get the hell out of here, right? So I pay the kid the money. I get the 3 chocolate bars. I pay for the gas. I get in my car. I drive home. And it wasn't until I got home in my driveway that I realized I just got hustled. This kid hustled me, right? He never wanted me to buy a box of chocolates. The kid wanted me to buy 1, and I bought 3.
Yeah.
The difference is in life, never ask for what you want, ask for more than what you want, so you'll get what you want, right? So I tell that story on stage a lot because the truth is, this kid hustled the shit out of me. He never wanted me to buy a box of chocolates. He was doing his discovery, right? He kept asking me questions, right? He talked about anything other than the sale. And then as soon as the hook was set in, oh, you can one day have a car like that too. He goes, well, that's exactly what I'm here to talk to. And got up and moved and had chocolate bars. I'm like, this little shit, he got me. So yeah, it was realizing that at 10 years old, this kid had no fear to tug on my jacket, ask me a million questions. He didn't know who I was. And I got an expensive car and he closed the deal, and he got me to buy 3 chocolate bars instead of 1. So I'll never forget it.
So love it. No. Okay, next one. Love, sales, or life? Which one do you want?
I mean, I'm going for all the 1,000. So go for the 1,000 love.
1,000 in love. Okay, awesome. So the proper reaction when the bank calls about your wife's credit card.
No. Shut it off. No, it's no. Oh, dude. Yeah. So it's more like that's a problem. Look, at the end of the day, right? I always tell people that my wife works harder than I do, right? Because she takes care of Gabriella. She works like crazy. She really busts her ass. And without her, I couldn't do what I do. So if that ever happened, I guess I just get another credit card or pay this one off and let her do it again. I don't know. But she's worth every dollar.
That is 100% love, right? Good. So what's next?
Life for 1,000.
Nope, can't do that one. Sorry.
I'm just kidding. Sales for 500.
Sales? Okay. The value of Michelle's closet.
I couldn't add that up. Okay, so I don't know. It's more than what my first house cost. I'll say that. But
she dresses the best out of everybody I know. She's gorgeous, and her clothes though are amazing. Seriously.
Well,
so how much richer would you be in monetary rich if you sold her closet?
Oh my gosh. I could buy properties, and I don't mean single family homes. I mean apartment complexes. Like I'd be rich. It wouldn't be Cardone Capital. It'd be Specialty Capital. That's it. I don't know. We could reinvest it all. But it's funny you say that because she started actually selling clothes on herself. So she has these brands and she's been selling them. And she's actually posted some stuff online and created her own business, which I'm so proud of her about,
Amazing.
And she models the clothes and, people come up and like, wow, and she just does a great job. But the clothes she sells are awesome, but the clothes and stuff in her closet are worth a lot more. So,
well, she's gorgeous, and she's just, both of you are amazing human beings. But I have to imagine that you could probably buy an island with her closet.
Right? A guy once tried to hire me, and he goes, "The first year you're going to start working for me, you're going to make $70,000." And I go, "Well, $70,000 won't cover my wife's purses, so I can't work there."
So you better, right?
Yeah.
So who who's closing the closer in these sales games, right?
I am the worst closer in my house. It goes Abriella, Avery, Addison, Michelle. I'm the worst. You guys want to take a sales class? Let my wife and daughters teach you. You'll learn way more than I'll teach you. I promise you.
Okay, so choose another one.
Yes, I will do love for 500.
Okay, amazing. Response to your surprise tickets for the Backstreet Boys from Michelle.
Well, funny story. I did used to sing, right? So I have somewhat of a voice, not enough for a recording studio by any means, but I used to sing, and I like all types of music. So I was actually pretty excited.
I love that. I love that. And you know, the funnest thing in the world is you guys just truly live life, right? You embrace every moment of life. And I think that even if it took a bottle of vodka, you guys would just have a blast at that concert, right?
Absolutely. It might take two nowadays, but who knows?
Amazing. Okay, so choose another one.
Light for 200.
Life, nope, can't do that one either.
Oh, can't do that. Then do the I got love and sales for 200, so I'll let you choose.
Nope, you choose. Go ahead.
All right, love for 200.
Love or sales?
Love.
Okay. You know you're sleeping on the couch when?
Basically, that's my second home. So, okay, so, you know, I have a nice spot on the couch. I know how to set up the pillows so I'm most comfy. Yeah. So I know I'm sleeping on the couch when, I don't know. I don't communicate enough to let her know when I'm going to come home. If I'm working, why aren't you answering your phone, Todd? What's going on? And when I forget things, because she'll ask me to do some stuff and I'll forget it because I got so many things going on. That's when I know I'm sleeping on the couch. So, yeah.
Well, good job, Michelle. I credit her for that.
Oh, yeah. She has no problem. She says, get a sheet.
Which one do you want next?
Sales for 200. That's the last one of those categories, though.
The age someone becomes a closer in your house.
0. The age is 0. Okay. I always tell people when I'm teaching people how to sell, like, you've been closing your entire lives. You know, when you're a baby, you start crying because you want something to eat. You know, you want food. You know, you're 2 years old. You start saying, I want candy, and then you keep asking. You know, Daddy, give me candy, give me candy, give me candy. And you're saying, no, Abrielle, you can't have candy. But Daddy. Then you just say, fine, go get a piece of candy. You know. But yeah, it's funny because Abrielle and I were at Target the other day, and I said, Abrielle, you've been a good girl today. I'm going to buy you one gift, you know, one present, you know. She goes, okay, Daddy. So we go to Target. But Daddy, can I have 2? She's tying the emotion, the voice inflection. Her lip comes up, but Daddy, after I say no. And I'm walking out. I bought a $60 Barbie truck. I'm like, a $60 Barbie truck and 5 other gifts. And she just looks out. She goes, Daddy, I'll tell you a better story. Because she closed me. The other day, I'm on the couch. I'm super tired. I had like a 16-hour day. And I get home, it's like, and we always play You Can't Catch Me and hide and seek. That's the games we have to play every night, no matter what. And I sit on the couch, and she says, Daddy, come on, we got to play You Can't Catch Me after you get done eating. You know, we play it every night. And I said, Abrielle, please. I said, please don't make Daddy feel bad tonight. You know, she's 5, so she understands. She's smart too, right?
Yeah.
I said, Abrielle, please don't make me feel bad. I cannot play You Can't Catch. I'm so exhausted. Just let Daddy, we'll rest tonight, and I'll play You Can't Catch Me and hide and seek twice tomorrow night. She looked me dead in the eyes. But Daddy, do you remember when you told me you'd do anything for me? I'm like, this is a joke. I can't win. It's impossible for me to say no. I cannot win. So what do? Got up off the couch, play You Can't Catch Me, and says closing starts at 0 in my house. Trust me.
So again, the closer, how to close the closer, really you just have to be a feminine woman in your house.
There should be a camera in my house. It'd be the best reality TV ever.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Well, thank you for that. So now we're going to get a little bit into the life aspect of 2, 5, or 1,000.
Let's start with 2. All right.
The greatest gift in your life?
Family, without question. Yeah, and you know, we can get back to Dad and the girls and you know, my wife and my mom and my brother and all these people that have had a major impact. You know, Danelle's become family. You know, there's people in my life. Jay Smith's become family. You know, someone like you who I've met who's not, you know, family's not always blood, right? So I just say family, and I keep it very broad because there's a lot of people that have impacted my life in a way that I would have never changed my life had they not been there. So I say family. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Me too. 100%. You and I are so in alignment. And so 500 or 1,000.
Let's go for 500.
Okay, good. So you talked a little bit about your daughters, but now let's talk about how your daughters just impact your life on a daily basis. Because for me, they changed my life, and I learn from my daughters every single day. Right? I learn how to be a better human from just the beautiful gift that their little beings bring to us. So you have a vast range of daughters, right? You have 3, right?
Yeah, 22, 17, and 5.
So
I said I wasn't going to start over again.
Your heart and your soul right there.
Yeah, right. Well, it keeps me young for sure. But yeah, my daughters, man, let's talk about Ava and Addison first. So they saw me at my lowest low, and they've seen me at my highest high. And without my daughters in my life, man, I probably would have gave up a long time ago. I remember when things were going really bad, I was super depressed, drinking all the time after I got robbed a bunch of times in the card game. And I lived in this 10 by 10 room, and I was renting the room from 2 college kids. Like, here I am, a father of 2 beautiful daughters, and I'm renting this tiny room at a college because that's all I could afford, and I'm paying $500 a month, and no money coming in. And I used to sleep all day and cry all day. That's all I did. Super, super depressed for almost 2 years. And I remember being in that room, and I would play like the saddest songs, and I would sleep like 14 hours a day. I'd get up, drink, do the same thing. I would cry about how bad my life is, and I would blame everybody but me and the whole entire world. And the strength my daughters gave me when they would come in to that house, and God, I know you're trying to get me emotional. It's working. So when they used to come in, and they would literally pull me aside and say, "What can we do to help you make your day better?" You're talking about an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old at the time, and they would get up in bed and they would try to make me laugh and keep me happy, and they kept me alive. Like, they literally kept me alive. Like, I had suicidal thoughts. I wanted to kill myself. Life was over. Without Avery and Addison being my absolute rock and soul during that time, I don't know if I'd be here. I really don't. So
Agreed.
My daughters aren't my daughters. They're literally my best friends, so it's pretty amazing. Avery helped raise Addison, because she was 5 years older than her. She was the mom. And then Abriella came in our lives, and Abriella is just such a bundle of joy. I could have the worst day ever. And even though I can't say no to her ever, she is the epitome of happiness, and that's a lot due to Michelle and how she raises her, because I always say we both raise her, but Michelle just, she has instilled a light in her that I don't think it'll never go out, God willing, because of how Michelle lifts her up,
Michelle, that light, and it's part of her for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And let's be honest, look, I'm killing myself every day, and I'm out here working hard, and Michelle is, the best mom on the planet, so for Abriella to kind of grow into the person that she is solely due to, I feel like, to Michelle and the love that she gives her. But Abriella gives that same love to anyone that she meets. Like, we could go out to a beach and literally they'll be sitting on the beach, and Abriella would just go up to kids and start playing with them, and say, "Hi, my name's Abriella." And then we saw her when we were in the JW Marriott to Turnberry in Miami this past weekend. And there's this girl that's like 3, and Abriella stops because she's afraid to step down on, and Abriella grabs her hand. She wants to help her. God, what an amazing soul, dude. So for my 3 daughters, they're the gifts in my life that I would die right now, give my life up to guarantee their happiness forever. Period.
With me too. That's beautiful. I love that about you so much. And so for 1,000.
Yeah. So this was very tough for me. I was someone that I wasn't supposed to be for so many years of my life that it took me a long time to be unapologetically me. And, I posted that post a while ago, and I remember getting tons of messages and people go, "Man, that's so powerful. I didn't write it." I'm sure someone else wrote it like a long time ago, but it hit at home with me. But what I did do is I represented what it meant, because, I was the guy that was drunk downtown, fighting all the time, belligerent drunk, driving wasted, doing things, running card games, illegal this, illegal that, I wasn't being the father that I knew it could be. I wasn't being the husband, the boyfriend. I wasn't just being the man I could be. And I always walked around, I was like, man, I'm so tough and I'm a tough guy and I can do this and I'll beat your ass. And used to walk around looking for things, but I was trying to impress people. I was like, dude, I want people to think I'm this tough guy that runs card games and this and all that. And I was fake, man. I was so fake. And when I look back now, it's like, why in the world should I do anything other than be unapologetically me? If they love me, great. If they don't, guess what? I don't care. Because if you don't want to be in my life and you don't like who I am as a person, then just get out. Because you're not going to make everybody happy. And the moment that I realized that not everybody's going to love me for me, like people talk about, I love when people try to bring up mistakes. So you've done this and you've done that and blah, blah, blah. And you're not, dude, you're right. I've made so many mistakes in my life and I'm still making them, right? But I'm not going to let my past define my future ever. So I'm going to be unapologetically me. I'm going to own everything that I've done in my life. And I'm going to do it in a way that hopefully people can see as a positive and know that it doesn't matter how big the mistake it is that you've made, you can always rise and overcome it. And that's how I live every day. It's just being unapologetically me, helping people realize the same thing and just try to transform lives. And just when I go, it's not about the money that I leave. It's not about the stuff that I've owned. It's about the lives that I've touched. I want to leave a legacy for my daughters to look back one day at interviews like this and say, that's my dad. That's what I want. Sorry, gets me emotional to think about, but that's what I want to do more than anything. I want my kids, I want my family, I want for generations to come go, man, I wish I would have met that man one day, for my great grandchildren, because I just want to be, I want to be a light in so many lives, even though I'm not the perfect guy. You know what I mean?
But you're so unapologetically you, and I know that there's this special thing between you and your dad, right? And so,
Yeah.
And your dad was your hero and probably your greatest gift, and you are the man that you are today because of your dad and your mom, and because of Michelle, and because of you three beautiful daughters. And that's why I actually wanted to end on that note, because you are.
You're trying to make me cry. You know me. I know you. I know you.
I cry. That's kind of what I do.
For anybody watching, she knows me. She knew I cry. I'm a crier. So thank you. I knew it was coming.
You are such a gift to this world, Todd. And I really wanted everyone to embrace all of you. Like, you have this gregarious side that's like so childlike, but you have this serious sales side. And then you have this beautiful, protective side with your family. And I think that was really my point in all of this, is that I needed everyone to see you as all of you are. And guys, if you need help with sales, if you need help in any way, this man will blow your business out of the water. legit blow your business out of the water. So why don't we wrap it up on that? And Todd, where can people find you? Like, what services do you offer? Because you're a gift to this world, and I'm so honored to have you in my life. And there's never been a moment ever as your friend you've that I've called and been like, hey, even the slightest little thing, and you got my back always. Like, always have my back. And we've only really, we know each other, but we've only really been in the physical same place about 3 or 4 times, right?
Yeah.
And so we know each other, but we're not like intimate friends, but you always have my back, right? There's not a question that if I needed you or somebody, you would be there, right?
For sure.
That's the type of person that you are. And so, guys, this man will change your life and your business, really. So 100% the most authentic, real, incredible person. And you have like insane sales all across the country, right? you break records all across the country. So where can people find you, and tell us a little bit about your services and what you can do with that?
Yeah, I'm actually going to say this before I do that, but I got to tell you that, the hardest thing for people to do is accept their greatness. And I want to say this because the truth is that there are so many people in the world that are so talented and have so many gifts, and they refuse to not only understand how big those gifts are, but to believe in themselves enough to know that they can do what they're capable of doing, right? And in my mind, Danelle helped me a ton in realizing that, right? Like, a lot of people see the guy that speaks on stage and the sales guy, and I'm very upfront and in your face, and I'm the aggressive guy. I can be the soft guy or whatever, but yeah, I'm a sales guy through and through. I do business consulting and more. But it took a lot, for me to just go, you know what, I'm really good. Like, and I'm okay saying it. And now when you're okay saying it, it just, you just start to reach new levels. So yeah, they can find me. My website's toddspecial.com, just my name.com. I own a company called Make Sales Great Again. I offer a course called Make More Sales. I do private consulting. I'm doing coaching right now for a bunch of people. And, you guys can always reach me there. You can send a message through Instagram or Facebook. As you know, I don't want to be the guy that doesn't answer. So I always answer people, as you know. That's a whole nother story we get into